SOS, yeah, SOS.
All right, Michael Wavves, what's good, player?
Chilling, man.
Chilling.
Out here in Buffalo.
Chilling. It is 12:37.
Is that the handshake that people do up here, the finger out? Is that the thing, or is that like
So I actually jammed my finger this weekend. So like I have adapted to the lifestyle.
Yo, I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't know if it was like an
people up
area
just
thing.
just like you know.
So that's it, just like that.
Yeah, we just.
It looks cool.
Yeah, we'll let it
It
fly.
works.
We'll let it fly. So you've been on the road, riding around with the boys a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned to me earlier that you actually had to cancel a show because your throat was a little fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, you can probably try and kind of hear it now. Yeah.
So that gives me an idea that that tour's been pretty lit up to this point, and that there's been a couple of good stops. So
Yeah, for sure.
you know, I'm just gonna let you run with that. Talk a little bit about the experience so far, what you've learned, and you know, just some of the experiences that you've gone through.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've done some touring in the fall, like headliner shows throughout the Northeast, but like Philly, Pittsburgh, DC, places like that, because I'm from Lancaster, PA, so it's like South Central Pennsylvania. But this is the first like full-on run that we did, where now that we're done, we did 10 shows in 11 days. So it's been like definitely like a hustle, you know, where like, I mean, it's been a great hustle because I learned a shitload in terms of just loading in, loading out at shows and how to efficiently do that. Especially since I've been on tour with Cryptic, I'm not headlining, I'm main support, and being able to read a room and identify a different crowd and be able to win them over is one of the biggest skills that I've learned. So how to convert random strangers into fans is like the most important skill I feel like you learn on the road. But it's been exhausting in like the best way. It's just like a lack of sleep. Like literally touring is just like sweating all the time, at least in the summer. Sweating all the time, driving long hours, and carrying and unloading heavy stuff repeatedly. But in there's also the awesome moments where you meet people that connect with your music, whether they're already fans coming out to support for the first time. There's a lot of these, actually all but one of these cities I've never been to. I've been to Boston, but all the other cities I've never been to. So like there's fans that came out for the first time that knew who I was, which was great. And even more importantly, there were people that came out that were strangers that after my set became fans. So that's the most rewarding stuff. That and the conversations and stuff like that, even meeting people like yourself and stuff like that. Just connecting with people is definitely the biggest thing you can take away from it.
Oh yeah, so you're just finessing the nuances of,
Sure.
you know, how to do it efficiently.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the goal is build a larger fan base to where I can tour in these cities myself and, you know, build a fan base that way. So it's like you ask yourself the question every night, okay, how can I turn this crowd into a group of fans?
Cool. You're trying to build a fan base, right?
Yeah.
So at some point in your life, you sat down and you wrote out some sort of an action plan on how you were going to do that.
Sure.
Can you kind of just like talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah.
Like honestly, like process-wise, like the breakdown, like customer acquisition for WolfPak clothing. You know, like that's something we have
like
to
a plan of
factor
action.
in. Yeah. So like, talk to us a little bit about like customer or fan acquisition for
Sure.
Michael Wavves and like what that's about and kind of the vision moving forward for you on the business side of things.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's a great question. You know, it really comes down to, at the end of the day, is the brand. The brand needs to be strong, which obviously, you know, you guys having your clothing company and stuff like that, you're more than familiar with that, and your brand is strong. But it comes down to the brand right away. And before we went on this tour, and even before I put out 2 projects. I put out one just last month, and I put out a project in October. So like a good amount of music pretty quickly. But before I rolled any of that stuff out or did any touring, it was like, how do I solidify the brand? And that's number one in terms of like a plan of action of how to attain fans, because if people come out to a show and they are attracted to your color scheme, the fonts that you use, the way you carry yourself, the whole aesthetic, exactly. They would be that much more to just give you a chance, whether it's listening to your set or approaching you at your merch table or having a conversation with you. So for me, step one was making sure the brand was tight. And I have, like, if you look on my website or any of my merchandise and stuff like that, or any of my banners and shit, it's like a Miami Vice look. It's got the neon pink, the neon blues, and stuff like that. So initially, that's step one: build the brand, solidify the brand, and then actually putting out quality music that fits the brand as well. If you look at and in no way am I trying to come off cocky at all, because everything's been such a work in progress. I put out a project in October, Nights on Vine. The aesthetic of that is very nighttime, neon-y, Miami Vice, pink. It fits the brand. I put out a project.
The merch is fire.
Appreciate it, man.
Saw that, yeah.
I put out a project just last month called Purple Heart. Same type of deal. It all fits into the branding of it, the aesthetic. So, and the music is good. I sucked for years, and only over the past year and a half, 2 years has the music reached a level where I feel extremely confident in it, and even where I'm reaching out to other artists that I've been aware of in this bubble of, I don't know, there's dudes like you interviewed Dylan Reese. I'm cool with Abstract and just those types of guys that are on the come up right now, and they're in that type of bubble. Being able to connect with those guys, and they'll because I have them on songs and stuff like that now. So I guess what I'm trying to say as I ramble is the music is at a level where it's respected by some of those people, and where we work together on different things. It's just kind of you reach a certain threshold where you're all right, I'm in the scene now. You know what I mean? Because the music and the quality is there. So making sure the music is there, making sure the brand is tight, and then it's it comes down to how do I get in front of ears and how do I get in front of eyes. So getting on this tour, a lot of it was literally Facebook messages and cold emails. That was literally it.
I really want everyone to understand what this man just said.
Yeah.
That's legitimate hustle.
Appreciate that.
Not only would some people think that they might be above, but wouldn't even consider. Wouldn't even consider doing something Facebook messages and cold email, not to cut you off.
That's literally dude,
to be acknowledged.
It literally comes down to one simple phrase. It's I'm just trying to get on. That's it.
Right.
How can I get in front of people? And how can I get in front of eyes to show them the brand, for them to hear the music, for me to give them a business card, or sell them a t-shirt, or just have a conversation. That's, I think, some of the most valuable stuff.
The most.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. The conversations are ungodly valuable, where we played shows, and I played the first show of this tour. We played in Norfolk. I had a guy cry to me. He's what did he say? He was he's just been having a really shitty time in life recently, and he thought about killing himself recently. But my set and the show tonight put a light inside. We hugged 5 times, complete stranger. But it's those types of conversations. Not only is it good business-wise because you build you're building your fan base, but you're making a connection with a genuine person. You're making a friend, really. It's not just oh, I'm a fan of your brand and your music's tight. You literally make a friend because your music is in a position where it is able to help other people, and that, especially on this tour, especially with Cryptic Wisdom's fans, that was a huge home run for me. Every night, trying to connect with as many people as possible, and even if it was a smaller show, sometimes that was even better because I could literally go around individually. Thank you for coming out. Give you a handshake, and a lot of people aren't necessarily into approaching you, right? You know what I mean? Some people will approach you, some people would just standoffish, but if I approach them, because I'm just out here, I'm just out here trying to get it and get on. Why would I not approach people that were at the show, even if they engaged with me or not? Because a lot of times I would approach people, shake their hand, give them a card, say thank you for coming out, and then they're yo, your set was so dope, I can't wait till you come back to Vermont, or it's different things like that.
Opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And every single person in the room is an opportunity, so I feel you'd be foolish. Nobody's above unless you're selling out 1,000 cap rooms on your own with little to no effort, which that doesn't happen. It's that's how you got to build shit organically. That's exactly what you do.
That's why I'm asking a little about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, because right now, okay, would a viral song help? Yeah, of course. But I'm in the position now out on the road where it's this is where you make the organic connections and you build that foundation where I have people that friend request me on my personal Facebook after this because they search and find out what my real name is and they find me online, but those are the people now that are engaging in everything I'm doing. and that's how you build a fan base. So it's like I started off with a small fan base before the road. I would say I probably more than doubled my fan base out here just by making genuine face-to-face connections with people.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm really happy to hear that.
No, I mean, I appreciate that, man. It's a grind, and this is like, it's like just the beginning. Like, this is the first actual tour run. It's a resume builder too, and it's like that's how business works. Like, you reach certain levels. Now I was main support on a tour that ran 10 cities in 11 days.
Right.
Even I had a headliner in there, like mixed in there. So it's like now that's a mark on my resume. It's like if you're applying for a job. So now you can use that to continue to level up. Yeah, it's like the little steps, and then before you know it, like you look at it big scale wise, and you're taking these leaps.
Right, yeah. And then, you know,
over time,
abstract or Dylan says, yo, let's hop on the road. You know that you got some previous connections.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like I'm down for whatever.
Engineers, you know, different people who run venues, leasing, you know, promoters, you know, you've already.
That's one big thing on this tour. Like, I was included in all of the booking emails and financial emails, so I learned so much looking at that. But also, like, I got all the emails to all the talent buyers. So it's like.
So who's doing that for you?
So that, so literally the tour came about off of a cold email to Cryptic Wisdom's manager.
Okay.
And they saw that I did some touring throughout the Northeast, and that's a market that was kind of untapped for them. So we just literally joined forces on that. And his manager, I believe, booked a lot of stuff independently in the past, and I was Facebook friends with the guy that did booking, but on a smaller scale, and knew a booking agent for an agency, connected us, and literally now the booking agent booked the entire tour. Like, it's just the most random, like, cluster fuck of events that.
Law of attraction, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you manifest that shit. Like, I'm not even trying to get on like a Russ tip or anything, but it's
it's legit.
You manifest it. Like, you sit there, it's like, I need to get on tour. Okay, well then you just network, talk, conversations, connect. Boom, it can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanna touch a little bit on the Purple Heart project.
Sure.
You know, we gave that a good listen to. Definitely like the
Thanks,
sound.
man.
It seemed like something we need to probably front to back more than once. But you know, you're talking about aesthetic, and you were talking a lot about, you know, the branding, what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
You know, purple's a powerful color.
Sure.
And it's one of my.
I think it's like with the color of royalty or like
right,
or something like that. Yeah.
Royalty, exactly. So, talk to us a little bit about that project, what it means to you, why you ended up choosing the title as you did, and
Sure.
you know, kind of just talk to us about what that is.
Yeah. I mean, long story short, I wrote a lot of the songs like 2 years ago, and probably 3 years ago now. So I'm engaged to my fiance. We've been together almost 10 years.
Congrats.
Yeah, thanks, man. And about 3.5 years ago, I basically left her, and it was just like a complete shitstorm of. Basically, I created a complete mess.
You lost your better half.
Yeah, basically, it was like. Our relationship was in like a rough patch, but just self-destructive behavior and stuff like that. And so a lot of those songs are birthed out of that. So I wrote those songs during that time, and they kind of sat for a while. I was trying to figure out what to do with them, how to group them together, and stuff like that. And for some reason, I always found myself using the Purple Heart emoji in my text. So I was like, that actually sounds like a cool name, Purple Heart. I just don't know really what it would mean or how I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
So like, as I dug through like the vault of discography, my vault of songs that weren't out yet, I like all the songs that ended up being on Purple Heart. They were all like slower, more melodic, like R&B type songs, and all of them were about like that time in my life where I kind of like self-sabotaged my situation. It led to me like really hating myself for a while and like being pretty depressed for a while and shit like that. It was like a process to get through that.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to like get her back and stuff like that. So it was a whole process. So I like metaphorically compared it to like a shipwreck. I don't even really know how that came about, but like it was metaphorically, I felt like I was a captain of like a boat, and I crashed it myself due to like, if you listen through, there's like an interlude on there. It's called "Sailing the Sirens." Like, you know what a siren is? It's like a mermaid that has like a really like infectious song that they sing to sailors, and it leads them to the rocks to crash their ships. I don't know if you're familiar with that. So like, it was kind of based around like that, where it's like giving into temptation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I considered myself like the captain of my own ship, and I sailed into the rocks. I crashed my own ship, and then I had to survive. And if you actually listen to the EP, in between every song, there's like ship sirens and stuff like that. So it's all a metaphorical story about like a shipwreck. So that's, and then I still like the name Purple Heart, so I was like, I'm gonna call the ship the Purple Heart. And if you look at the cover art, it says Purple Heart inside the ship. So that's a long rambling story, but that's basically.
That's a fantastic story.
Thanks, man. That's basically
I'm so
where
glad that I asked.
Yeah,
Like,
that's basically where it came from.
Awesome. Hell yeah.
Well, it's like mad late, so the venue's trying to get out of here, so they turn some of the lights off. So no, it's all good, man. We're just
we're not chirping you.
what do you
We're just kidding.
He's like, not me, man. Bar's still open. I gotta go.
I know we're taking that long, so I don't blame him.
That's hilarious. Yeah, so we're just gonna close it up here. We're gonna let Homeboy plug himself in a little bit on the socials, but you know, one of our closing questions, we always do a little role reversal at the end. You can ask us any one question you want. The only real rule is that you can't ask us about the mission of our brand.
Okay.
Because that's kind of like the go-to, but yeah, you can ask us any one question.
What's your favorite cereal?
That's such a great question. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, without any doubt.
Even though it gets soggy mad quick?
Not if you eat it good.
Not if you eat it good. I feel like that needs to be their new slogan.
Big dogs gotta eat, bro.
Nah, I feel it.
What about you?
Say like
That's weird that you asked me that. We're low-key boys right now. Like that was before that moment. But like, cause it's like when I was riding up here, I was like, yo, what the fuck my asses, dude? And I was like, yo, I'm just gonna come right out and be like, what's your go-to breakfast item? That was like the first thing that came to my mind, so it's weird.
Go-to breakfast item. I like dip eggs. I ate dip eggs this morning.
Dip eggs?
Yeah.
Is that like gas station, like on the
No, like
road?
dippy eggs, like you dip
Oh, I thought it was
toast.
like.
They call them something different up here. I don't.
Oh no, that's definitely what you call it. It sounded like a product. Like a brand
dip egg.
name.
Okay.
Like, oh yeah, cop a couple dip eggs, throw them in a bag.
You need to invest in it. Yeah.
Like, gas station.
Coming
dip
to
eggs
7-Eleven near you. Dip eggs. Brought to you by WolfPak clothing.
Yeah,
I like Oreo O's. That's like my go-to cereal.
Oreo O's.
Yeah, they brought it back. It's like pretty epic.
Are you a big cereal guy?
Not huge, but
Cow milk?
almond milk.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
We're out here. We're not supposed to drink cow milk. It's not right for our digestive systems.
Now you're on your right.
My buddy Jason would appreciate that I said that.
Yeah.
No other animal drinks other animals' milk besides humans. It's not right.
Plug yourself into socials, all that shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. Michael Wavves, MichaelWavves. There's 2 V's. So michaelwavves.com or at Michael Wavves on all the socials, man.
2 V's.
2 V's, though. 2 V's. We'll be touring this winter. We'll be out here on the road again.
Whereabouts?
Probably a lot of like Pittsburgh, Philly, Lancaster, DC. Do you know who Jerome is? The artist Jerome.
He works with Dylan too.
Yeah, so we'll be touring with him.
You're on a Pittsburgh trip.
Hell yeah, yeah, we're definitely gonna be in Pittsburgh. Come through.
I'm hearing some
It'll be
Pittsburgh
Jerome's
cat
first
copies.
tour. It's the first time I announced anything about touring. So with him,
That's an exclusive. You heard?
WolfPak clothes, dip, sponsored by Dip Egg. It's the Dip Egg tour.
I could have done this all night, for real.
No, it's all good, man. We'll have plenty more opportunities to sit down and chop it up.
Hell yeah,
Especially as I continue to do more interesting things, we'll have good topics of content. Cheers, I appreciate you guys.
Likewise.
When I'm alone at night and need some help, all this temptation, it takes me to places I
It's just water. Serious. Ice water.
SOS, yeah, SOS.